The hosts feel it would be a little unkind to present this podcast without just a word of friendly warning. We are about to unfold the story of Frankenstein, a man of science who sought to create a man after his own image without reckoning upon God. It is one of the strangest tales ever told. It deals with the two great mysteries of creation, life and death. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now's your chance to. Well, we've warned you.
Hello, and welcome once again to the Frankencast. I'm the mad scientist, Anthony Bowman. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm joined as always by...
The fear of losing something that's only mildly precious to you, that is Eric Velasquez. My pronouns are also he, him.
Yeah, so we're back with our with a second, kid-friendly animated feature.
Yeah.
I feel like overall Scooby-Doo is maybe an older property than Alvin and the Chipmunks, but this particular incarnation of Scooby-Doo is much newer than the 1999 Alvin and the Chipmunks that we talked about last week.
Well, actually, let's talk about that because, I think Scooby-Doo, a product of the 60s/70s, right? Mm-hmm. And I think Alvin, the first song came out in 64, right?
Okay, yeah, the Witch Doctor thing that was the first thing they did, right?
I think so, but let me check it out real quick. Yeah, 61, there was a commercial for Jell-O, technically.
Okay.
And then after that, then they did all the songs after that, and then, But then Scooby-Doo, that came out in 68. So technically, Alvin is older.
Gotcha, quite a bit
Scooby-Doo's
older.
probably way more famous.
Oh, yeah. I think Scooby-Doo has, there have been, like we talked last week, there's been those couple, CGI live-action Chipmunks movies. I think those did okay with kids. Obviously, they made 3 or 4 of them. But, the legacy of Scooby-Doo is much larger. They crank out Scooby-Doo movies still almost every year. I think there's a new one coming out. And
there's some iteration of Scooby-Doo. I think the last one wasn't well received. Mm-hmm. I think they deviated a little bit too much. But also, there's an air of assholery. That Velma, wasn't that what it was called? Mm-hmm. That was kind of but
supposed
it literally had everybody.
Yeah, it was supposed to be for grown-ups. It was what if we did Scooby-Doo but made it edgy and everybody was like, no, we liked Scooby-Doo the way it was. This is not, and it's they've done, did the live action that was well received, was really great. They did an animated movie that recently called I think Zombie Island or something that I think was pretty well received.
Return to Zombie Island.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Velma cartoon didn't do so well. But yeah, this is from 2014, so it feels newer, but honestly, we have to admit that was 10 years ago at this point.
Yeah. Well, and this also, all right, so also Shaggy is played by Matthew Lillard. Mm-hmm. Who I think he plays him more or less in perpetuity now.
Yeah.
Like Casey Kasem did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was introduced in the live-action movies, and everyone was like, oh my god, this guy is Shaggy. It's perfect, so...
Well, here's the thing, right? At the time, everyone was like, okay, he's got the stoner vibe of Shaggy, but there's no way Matthew Lillard's pulling off the voice. The guy has about 3 notes in his acting. He had way more. Everyone was just reducing him at the time. And, but turns out, no, he is Shaggy.
Yeah, he's perfect.
Effectively.
Yeah.
Funny story. I ate dinner beside him one time.
Oh, yeah?
Matthew Lillard. Yeah, I was at Gen Con. He was starting up his Beetle and Grimm's company.
Okay.
And one of his friends came in, and he's like, hey, man, I got you this set of dice. And he was so excited about a fucking set of Chessex dice. Matthew fucking Lillard is hyped up on these, basic bitch kind of dice.
That's awesome.
No, I'm not saying he's a basic bitch. I'm just saying it's funny that he's so excited about it.
Yeah, he's not too good for something. Like he's, genuinely happy about a gift from a friend and loves nerdy shit. Yeah, that's great.
Hilariously, all of our friend group immediately stopped eating. We stopped talking. We were like, "Oh shit, that's Matthew Lillard. It's the Scream guy." He's only been in one, and everyone still calls him the Scream guy. I'm sure.
Yeah, and he's like the rest of the live action cast didn't really carry on with the movies. Like Sarah
Michelle Gellar and I think Freddie Prinze were in the next one.
They
were in the first two.
Of the live action movies, but they didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think they did the voices ever after the animated.
No. Literally, he's the only one. And then Frank Welker.
Oh,
Frank Welker's always going to be everything.
Yeah, he's Fred and Scooby-Doo, and he has been for fucking ever. He's just
right.
If
there's a voice that has a weird depth to it, it's probably Frank Welker.
Yeah, and if there's a strange cartoon animal that kind of talks but doesn't exactly talk, it's probably Frank Welker. Yeah.
Or anyone that has the voice like this that isn't Batman.
Yeah.
That's Frank Welker.
Yeah. So yeah, this, I feel like this is a good example. Scooby-Doo, when it's done right, it feels kind of timeless. It still feels like the 60s, but it also kind of feels modern. They they don't really in fact, this starts out with somebody basically Googling Daphne on a fake search engine called Scooby-Doo.
Right. They basically go to her vlog that she's having at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, this is of its time for sure.
Yeah, they're searching Daphne modeling photos, which it's that's pretty horny for a kid. This is clearly
there's some horny.
Yeah.
Because the dudes will somehow pop into her video chat or whatever and be like, "Yo, where's the pics?"
Yeah,
let me see them nudes.
It has a very cam girl vibe. It's
yeah. Daphne has OnlyFans.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And it's funny because she's like, "Yeah, I did this whole new set of modeling photos. I'll share them with you here shortly. But first, let me tell you about this recent mystery that me and my friends were on."
Recaps the old Scooby-Doo cartoons.
Mm-hmm. Over the course of this little vlog, her friends will pop in and kind of talk and stuff. Basically, we get a couple different stories. One is there was a rock band that they pretended to be ghosts,
zombies.
Yeah, to try to improve their career or whatever. It was fake voodoo involved and nonsense, and then.
We have some ghosts that were real estate magnates.
Yeah, there's a real estate thing, and then there's a third one that's a guy pretending to be a pirate. I forgot what his whole deal was.
Well, no, it was a woman pretending to be a guy pretending to be a pirate.
Right, yes.
Her name was Mama Mazzone.
Yeah.
She was for some pizza thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
It's just about, it's silly. It feels like it's kind of recapping past stuff. And
then there was some dude trying to screw some people out of money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, after all that, a lawyer just pops into the feed and he's like, I'm looking for Velma Dinkley and I need to speak to her. And Velma's
like, no, you don't.
Yeah. He's like, I gotta tell you something about your family. And she's like, she hangs up on him. She's like, that's clearly a scammer. And
everyone's like, wait a second, hold on.
Yeah, he might have had something important. How you don't know?
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't. And I think he even pop back in a second time.
Yeah, he keeps hopping in.
Yeah, and finally the crew's like, we need to go find out. This sounds like an emergency. We gotta let's roll.
Right. Okay. So tell me this. So then they're like, let's get the gang back together. Fred does.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they do? I call it the Requiem for a Dream cuts, but I think it's also Evil Dead Sam Raimi. They zoom in on everything.
Yeah.
As they're doing it. I'm like, this is they care about this.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I mean, this is well done. It could have easily been a really lazy thing, but yeah, they're still trying with these. And I think the end of the vlog thing is like Daphne being like, "That's all for now, Daphonatics," and she does like the like and subscribe thing, but she's like, "Keep liking me, please."
Right.
And then we get like, we just cut to the
One
gang.
guy's like, "Hey, where's the modeling pics?"
Oh yeah. And then we see the gang. They're all like hanging out at like a diner, and they're like, "We got this mission. We got to figure out what's going on." And Velma's like, "No, this isn't good. Like, let's not do this." And Fred's like, "No, come on. We got to do this. It's been too long. Let's get in the mystery machine, my beloved van. We all love the mystery machine. It's time to go."
That we've had forever, and nothing has ever happened to it yet.
Yeah. And so they all go out and hop in the mystery machine, and they head to the lawyer. And when they get there, and the lawyer, I mean, like, he's obviously a villain. Like, he's just a creepy looking dude right away. His
name's Crawley? Crawley.
Yeah.
Very much. And he's not one of the Good Omens guys.
Right. And, he's like, you've inherited the estate of your great Uncle Basil.
You get a Transylvanian castle.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, what?
Yeah, we're not gonna, like, we can't go to Europe. And he's like, no. Transylvania, Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Apparently, in the 1800s, a bunch of Transylvanians migrated to Pennsylvania and basically set up a colony like the Amish.
Yeah, he's like, they're dedicated to 19th century living. It's all, there's nothing modern. And immediately
Daphne's not about that.
Yeah, what about my curling iron and my cell phone and my vlog? Like, I can't do all that. And
she's vapid and materialistic, I guess.
Yeah. And the lawyer's like, that's probably for the best, because there's a rumor that there's a family curse. The castle's all cursed. You probably don't want to go there.
Right. Uncle Basil went crazy because of the curse.
Yeah.
And he created a monster, possibly.
Yeah. And then we see outside there's a shadowy figure who, like, opens the back window of the mystery machine and drops something in there.
It's the engine. The engine compartment. Mm-hmm. And then they put something in there that has lights on it.
Yeah. And then pretty much right after that, the gang comes out, and Fred's like, "Wait, what's that beeping sound? The mystery machine doesn't make beeping sounds."
I know every sound that thing makes. It's not that. They planted a fucking car bomb in the mystery machine.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is the closest they've ever come to actual death.
Yeah, because I assumed, it's a tracking device, but no, the mystery machine fucking explodes. And, like, Fred kind of, like, throws everybody down at the last second and saves them, but, like, shit, this is real. And then they see up on the rooftop, there's the mysterious figure evilly laughing. That
this is the Phantom.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And then we cut to credits, and these credits are like such like a snake eating its own tail, because these credits are the Venture Brothers credits.
Pretty much, yeah.
But the Venture Brothers, of course, parody Scooby-Doo and Johnny Quest and all of these like Hanna-Barbera cartoons from the 60s, so it's it's kind of funny. In fact, there's like specifically a Venture Brothers episode with knockoff Scooby-Doo characters in it.
Right, where they all die.
Yeah, they're like serial killers, and so it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But these, I mean, it's a exact recreation of the style. It's got like the shadowy, silhouettes of the mystery gang running back and forth across the screen, and all these quick cuts, and like fast, jazzy, intense music and everything.
Well, see, I thought the music sounded more like a Saw movie.
Okay. Yeah, I can kind of see that too.
It's like, I get it. It felt like kind of a little bit of a mashup,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it does also have like the little recordings of them saying little catch things, which definitely feels like a Saw thing.
Do you want to play a game?
Yeah,
it's Scooby-Doo, Daphne, and everybody.
Yeah, but it's like each one of them says like intense, sort of like actiony things, except Shaggy and Scooby are like, "I'm hungry" or what, like because of course they
can't. Think we can find some food, Scoob?
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty good. And when we get to the end of the credits, it just cuts to Fred, who's got like one single tear running down his cheek as he looks at the
manly tear.
Yeah. And Shaggy's like, "Wow, that guy up there on the roof is the worst parking lot attendant I've ever seen."
Right. I like what is it? I believe it's Fred. He's like, "This time, it's personal." Dun dun dun.
Right. And then they see that, like, as the mystery machine exploded, somehow the fire spells out the words "Stay away from Transylvania."
Right. How the hell do you plan that?
I mean, I guess if you wrote that in gas and then blew up something next to it, maybe that would I don't know.
But I feel like the explosion would blow the gas away.
Right, yeah. Logically,
I don't know.
Yeah, but,
what do I know?
Yeah.
I've never car bombed anybody that they can prove.
They're like, well, now we have to go to Transylvania. And they're like, but how are we going to get there? We don't have the mystery machine.
Right? Fred's like, oh!
Yeah. Yeah, this becomes like the running gag for the whole thing is that he keeps being like, oh, it's fine. We can just go right outside of the mystery. Oh, no, he's gone. And it just like keeps getting heartbroken all over again.
Like, how much trauma did this cause that man, though? Because he literally relives the explosion every single time he thinks about it. Like, he has PTSD.
Yeah, it's a really good gag.
It's kind of tragic, but yeah.
Yeah. So then, we just see them all. They decided they're taking a night train to Transylvania. Thankfully, just coincidentally, there's
Express.
this train.
Yep.
Shaggy
That just happens to go to Transylvania, Pennsylvania.
And Shaggy and Scooby are stoked because there's a big snack bar. But then when they get there, it only serves like Carpathian delicacies, and they're like, I don't know about that.
And by Carpathian delicacies, I believe goat head ketchup is one of them.
Yeah, just not like gross nonsense for kids to be like, ew, that's nasty.
Yeah. By the way, everybody who's not Shaggy, Scooby, and the Mystery Inc. crew, they pretty much look like ghouls. So like these are Lurch's cousins. I feel like they look like that.
Yeah. We see that there's like the mysterious figure is on the outside of the train.
Right.
And like trying to plan what to
doing something.
But then Daphne inside is on her cell phone. She's like looking up a gossip site to see if anybody's talking about her modeling photos. But no, they're not. They're talking about the latest gossip about Velma.
Right, the Von Dinkelstein.
Yeah, there's a dark family secret, and Velma's like, okay, I'll come clean. I'll tell you. Yes, I'm a descendant of the Von Dinkelstein family line. He was a mad scientist.
Dr. Von Dinkelstein?
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, he created a monster, or people said he did, but I think that was just a myth. But the myth inspired Mary Shelley. She wrote Frankenstein, and then that got tied to our family.
Right.
And so it's just plagued us for that's the family curse is that.
But I love that it also inspired a lot of her relatives to try and duplicate what Grandpa had done.
Yeah. And it sounds like that's what happened with her great uncle Basil, whose estate she's inheriting. He went mad trying to prove that it was real, basically.
Yeah.
At that point, like after she feels like she's really unburdened herself, and Fred and Daphne are like playing on their phones and like, oh yeah, we know. Like you're not telling us anything we didn't already know. It's fine.
No, we looked it up a second ago. We're good.
Yeah, it's already all on the internet.
I believe she also tells us that whenever her family came over, because America's America, and Dinkelstein is apparently too hard, they were just like, Dinkley, that's your name now, bye.
Yeah, they got
Ellis
that
happened,
Island.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then she's like, wait a second, the train is speeding up. That's weird. It should be going the same speed the whole time. And we're in like a curvy mountain pass area. Like that's not good. We need to figure out what's going on, or we're gonna crash.
Right. As a matter of fact, one of the cars on the back flies off and crashes.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, we gotta hurry. So they start kind of like rushing through train cars. They go into this one car that has just a bunch of knockoff Addams Family characters, just like the most ghoulish, like black and white, spooky looking people.
Well, it's more like green and black and green, right?
Yeah,
like off olive green or
it's like it's Frankenstein colors, And I think we end up with this bit where like the rest of the gang is at one end of the train, Shaggy and Scooby are at the other end, and they're doing like a telephone game, yelling
literally
back and forth.
Everyone else in the car's in the middle.
Yeah, and it's like they said this, and you get this whole big mob like repeating things back and forth, and it ends so like they send Shaggy and Scooby to get to the engine to figure out what's going on, why they're speeding up. And when
it turns out the Phantom's there.
Yeah, he's responsible, but he ends up like jumping out of the train, saving himself, and Shaggy and Scooby...
he destroys the fucking control panel. He's like, fuck you! Boom! Breaks it.
So now Shaggy and Scooby can't fix things. They're stuck. And they come back out and they try to relay this, and they do the telephone game thing again. We're all going to die, blah, blah, blah. And then, they're like, what are we going to do? Somebody figure something out. Daphne, do you have a plan? And she's like, no, I'm a cheerleader. What am I going to do? Am I going to cheer us on? And
turns out that's a great idea, because we can use her to counterbalance the train.
Yeah, they do this elaborate like cheerleading pyramid, and somehow that keeps the train on the tracks. And then as they like get close to the station, they realize it's still going too fast, but they pull the pin and let the engine loose. So the whole rest of the train just coasts into the station as the engine...
And the engine charges into the town clock and blows up.
Yeah.
What? Here's the thing. What would have blown up there?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like a steam engine, or like... No, it's an electric engine.
It's cold.
Even. It's not...
Yeah.
So, there shouldn't be anything to really explode, and, it's an old...
Burn, yes. Explode, no.
Yeah. And
maybe the clock tower's full of dynamite. Who knows? Or
right.
TNT.
So when the gang and all the passengers get out of the train, they're met by a bunch of angry townsfolk who are like, "What are you doing? You destroyed our town clock." And they're like, "Yeah, but actually we saved a bunch of people. We're heroes. No need to thank us. It's just what the mystery team does."
And they're like, "No, you destroyed our clock."
Yeah, and then they're like, "Wait a minute. You're a Von Dinkenstein."
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, we can't have, your filthy, cursed family line in our town anymore. We don't want any part of you.
Right. Dude's dressed up like a freaking German soldier from World War I.
Yeah, it's like a constable, kind of like... It's
a spiked hat.
Yeah, but he's a parody of I can't remember his name from Son of Frankenstein, because he's like...
Has one hand.
Yeah, he's missing a hand, and instead he's got a feather duster. And he's like, your father, or your ancestor's monster did this to me. And they're like, he gave you a feather duster? And he's like, no. He tore my hand off. I did the feather duster. It's useful.
I have to clean the barracks. Come on.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, sure, whatever. And then the Burgermeister comes, and it turns out he's Burgermeister Burger. And Shaggy and Scooby are all excited. They're like,
a burger?
Yeah, you're a burger? And he's like, no, it means mayor. I'm the mayor of town.
Right, master of the burg.
Yeah, so he's like, this town has been cursed since your ancestors plagued our town. We don't want anything to do with you. All we can, this town has fallen into such, disrepair or whatever. All we've got now is torch manufacture. That's the only thing keeping the town alive. We make the best torches in Europe.
In America.
Right. Oh, right. Yeah, of course. Right. Yeah, it's not Europe. It's fake Europe in Pennsylvania.
Europa.
Yeah, and so they're like, you got to get out of town, and they're kind of like shoving the gang, and then all of a sudden a horse-drawn carriage appears, driven by an obvious Igor figure who's like, "Hurry, get in the car. I'll take you to your ancestors."
Well, he's kind of grunting at them. He's like, "Come." Go, we go.
Yeah, I'll save you. And they don't have any better options, so they jump in.
His name's Iago.
Iago, yeah. It's a nice, almost Igor, but not quite kind of name. And he
Isn't
takes...
that a reference to Merchant of Venice?
Yeah. Definitely Merchant of Venice, or, if you're a kid watching an animated movie in the 2000s,
Aladdin.
maybe Aladdin. And he kind of, like, as they're headed towards the
We're
castle...
cultured here.
Right. Shakespeare or Disney, whichever one. Gilbert Gottfried as a parrot.
It's the same. Hamlet is the Lion King, right? The Lion King is Ham. Yeah, no, I stand by original statement. Shakespeare ripped off Disney, who ripped off a Japanese creator.
Yeah. This is kind of an info dump opportunity, though, as they're like traveling to the castle. He tells, Iago tells the backstory of the Baron and everything, and that the monster and the Baron got trapped in a burning windmill. The monster died, but the Baron was
Baron's
hideously
face got
disfigured. Yeah, so he wore a mask for the rest of his days, and that's why when people see this ghost tormenting the town, he's wearing a mask because
he became the Phantom and cursed the whole town.
Yeah. So at that point, Iago drops the gang at the castle, where they are met at the door by Mrs. Vanders, a creepy housekeeper lady. She's a Frau Blucher, basically.
Yeah, Frau Blucher.
And
very much so.
Yeah, and she's hilariously played by Diedrich Bader, from like the Drew Carey show and like Whose Line Is It Anyway and everything,
or Office Space if you're of that ilk.
Oh right, yeah, he's the trashy
2 girls at one time, man.
yeah. And it's like, I mean, I clocked his voice immediately, which like is strange because I don't feel like I've seen him in that many things that I would instantly recognize him. But I was like, is that? And yep, sure enough.
Diedrich Bader is he's everywhere, but you don't notice it.
Mm-hmm,
Very much like Frank Welker.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the housekeeper lady starts kind of giving them a tour of the house. She locks them in first, and they're like, "But what if we need to leave?" And she's like, "It's for your own protection. If you need to go, just come to me. I'll let you out." And
okay, she puts the key in her shirt by her collar.
Mm-hmm.
It makes a bunch of like ding dong ding ding.
Yeah, it's such a silly gag.
Where does it end that it goes sploosh?
Yeah. It makes no sense. Like, it's such a Scooby-Doo is a cartoon and has its cartoonish moments, but there is a slight level of realism, usually we find usually that the ghosts are not ghosts, they're people pretending to be ghosts. But yeah, this cartoonish thing of like ping-ponging around in these metal clanks and then a splash inside her body somehow. I have no idea. And it's kind of funny though because the gang is all looking at each other like, "Did you hear that? What the fuck was that?"
Right? Like, this is diegetic. They are hearing this.
Yeah. And she's kind of leading them through the house. There's like creaking as they're walking, and she's like, it's an old house. There's creaks, but there's a point where they all stop and the creaks continue.
Well, there's also a portrait with the eyes.
Yeah, of course, you got to have the classic eyes moving. And like the gang is kind of joking about cobwebs, and she's like, "Are you insulting my housekeeping?" And they're like, "No, we would never do that." And then to like sort of try to smooth things over, I can't remember, it was Daphne. She was like, "There's a lot of gas lanterns around here. That's got to cost you all a fortune." And Vanders is like, "No, this house is built on a gas deposit.
Right.
We have
Natural gas is so easy and cheap to get everywhere."
Yeah, we've got plenty of gas." And they're all like, "Ha ha ha, you fart joke."
No, she farts. Like, she goes... Like, there is a joke where she farts. This character just keeps farting.
Yes.
All the way to the credits.
Yeah. There's a... Yeah. And so at that point, I think like they... she's like, here's your room, Velma. And she opens the door and it like falls off. There's no room. It's just
Velma almost falls off a cliff and dies.
Yeah.
Why would you build that?
Right. She's like, oops, I forgot about that. That's not the right room. This next room is yours.
Yeah. But before we go there, let me show you the laboratory.
Yeah. So as soon as they go in the, it's a very classic, big, tall science lab. It looks great.
Velma's already like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, this looks exciting. As she's looking at stuff, Shaggy and Scooby see that there's a fridge in the corner.
Right. Now, anybody else would be like, dude, that's got body parts. Like, there's nothing you want to eat in there.
Yeah. But of course they open, and it looks like it's like seafood. And they're like, ooh,
yeah.
So they like, there's a table over there with a tablecloth. They pull out all the seafood. They lay it all out. They're getting ready to eat. And then Vanders comes and is like, that's not food. That's rejected specimens from the Baron's experiments.
Right, we zoom in on maggots or something crawling on the skin of this stuff.
Yeah, because it's like lobsters and shrimp and stuff. But yeah, of course,
we're getting parasites is what we're saying.
Yeah, it creeps them out. And she's like, and not only that, but this isn't even a table you're using. And she pulls the tablecloth off, and it's a
monster.
Yeah, it's like a big block of ice with the Frankenstein monster frozen inside. And Shaggy's like, oh, it's a Frankenstein. And Velma's like, well, actually, Frankenstein's the doctor, not the monster.
Yeah. Pedantic.
Yeah. And Daphne's like, looks more like a Frankencreep to me.
Hey.
And then we kind of see a close up, and it isn't a big monster made of human parts. It's like got like a lobster claw and a weird, like it's made of monster parts. Yeah, it is a Frankencreep. Like it's a bunch of monsters made into a monster.
Right. Well, animals. Let's not be too reductive. They're animals that got turned into a monster.
Yeah.
But hey, guess what? Before they leave, Velma also has a fascination with science wheels.
Yes, I'm so excited.
I got hyped. I was like, hell yeah, woman of culture.
Yeah, the rest of the gang moves on, and Velma's like, is that a... And not only does she like... But she's like, is that a Strickfaden electro wheel? Which we all know is Ken Strickfaden, the guy who designed the equipment for the first Universal movies. So great little name drop. And yeah, she's like, I love these wheels. But it turns out she's been tricked. Because it's not really an electro wheel, it's a hypno wheel.
No! But only she sees the thing. Everybody else is gone.
Yeah, they head out. So Velma gets hypnotized, and then outside we have the rest of the gang. They're hungry, and Vanders is like, "Oh yeah, I can get you some food."
She comes from the opposite direction though, with a Jello mold.
Mm-hmm. And it contains jellied pig's feet.
Yes.
And
after Daphne eats some,
obviously everyone's like, "No, we are not into that." And she's like, "Well, if you don't like our food here in the castle, you could go into town. In fact, I think there's a festival in the village tonight. There's probably all kinds of festival food."
And poor Fred goes, "All right, guys, let's hop in the Mystery Machine," and relives the moment of the Mystery Machine's death the first time.
Yeah. So it's like, and you're like, well, we could go for a walk. It's not that far. So they head into town, and as soon as they get into town, the first thing they see is there's a big... I forget what the German word is, but it's a donut eating contest. Yeah. And of course Shaggy and Scooby are like, hell yeah, we're signing up for that.
Well, the Burgermeister's kind of like, hey, you guys aren't welcome here, and everyone's like, all right, chill. And then, like you said, Shaggy and Scooby are like, let's do the donut eating contest. Let's go.
Yeah. And so they're like,
somebody plays the
fine.
bagpipes to start this. I feel like that's wrong. You shouldn't have bagpipes in a German-related place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense.
No.
But they pretty much, we go right into the eating contest, and Shaggy and Scooby just eat everyone under the table. They just destroy the competition.
Yeah. Literally everyone else passes out before them, and they're like, we're going to keep going, please. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out there were some fish eggs in the donuts, so that's interesting. I wonder how that would do. It's caviar.
Yeah,
in a pastry.
I mean, I don't know. Sweet and salty sometimes works, so maybe, I don't know.
Right.
But while that's all going on, we also get...
Fat phobia. I hate it.
Yes. Yeah, this... we talked last week with, like, the Theo stuff. Mm-hmm. This is worse, and it's even newer, so it's even worse for, like... so, like,
right.
Daphne...
She wants a size 2 dress, right? From this new place. And the lady's like, no, you're a size 8. Okay. First off, I don't know how you could consider a woman in a size 8, any size 8 in America, fat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absurd.
Yeah. Am I crazy? Like,
no,
I know that there are people who like wear zeros, but those people need probably a hamburger or two. But that's my opinion. Take it for
not being an expert on women's clothes size, but I think that the average is in like the 10 to 12 range.
Right.
So like 8 is definitely in the normal sort of range for sure.
But Daphne argues with this Romani woman, and she puts on the size 8 dress, and of course Daphne looks like a larger woman, and she feels insulted, and she's like, "No, it does fit."
Yeah, and it's just traditional sort of European peasant garb. She looks like a Russian peasant, and she looks, she's obviously more filled out than she was, and somehow in the process her hair gets frizzy, so she just looks like she doesn't look like the hot cheerleader that she expects herself to be, and she's really, really upset about it.
I mean, aging happens, folks. You know what I mean?
Right, absolutely, yeah. And while that's going on, we go back to Shaggy and Scooby. The reward for the donut eating contest is they get Yeah, they get dressed up in lederhosen, and they also get special marionette puppets made of themselves. Yeah, blood sausage in the shape of Scooby and Shaggy, but like part of the tradition is they have to eat their own sausage.
Yeah, after they put on the lederhosen.
Mm-hmm. But it turns out that
they're full.
They can't. They're full, and
for the first time ever.
Yeah, you know, Shaggy and Scooby are like bottomless pits, but they're like, no, this is weird. Like, we're good. We don't want the sausage.
How
we're
dare
sorry.
you not eat this town's blood sausage?
Yeah,
that's an insult.
So like, yeah, now we've got angry villagers coming after them for not eating the sausage.
Right. Fred's walking through a car shop. Well, not a car shop. A little knick-knack shop. And finds a bumper sticker, and he's like, "This would go great on the mystery." Oh, Flash!
Yeah, it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think at that point the gang all kind of like they're fleeing their respective bad situations. Yep. They all kind of bump into each other, and they're like, "We need to get out of here." And again, Iago pulls up with his carriage right in the nick of time, and he's like, "You all need to hurry. You need to rescue Velma. Something bad's happened and her mind is gone."
Well, he says we need... and they're like, "Oh, thanks for rescuing us." And he's like, "I'm not here to rescue you. I'm here for you to rescue Velma."
Yeah, absolutely. Cut to them arriving back at the castle, and there's Velma, and Velma has gotten...
in her second hottest outfit in IMO.
I'm guessing behind the red leather one from the live action is... Yes.
Listen, I have a bass component to me, okay? I own that.
Hey, I mean, I knew right where you were going, so we're clearly both men of culture here. Yes, and so here she's like hot goth. She's got like basically the Elvira dress with the Bride of Frankenstein hair. Her skin's a little green, so she's kind of monstrous, but like, yeah, I mean, she looks hot as hell. Like it's a great look for Velma. I mean, yeah, like I saw a meme a couple days ago that was like, if you liked Scooby-Doo when you were a kid, you're either obsessed with horror or you're obsessed with thick nerds. And I was like, oh, I'm both of those things. The option is
there's C. There's always C.
Yeah.
Don't forget
Por
that.
Halo nos dos, as you like to say. Yeah. So, she strolls in all kind of spooky, and she's like, "I am ready to continue my ancestors' work now."
Right. And they're like, "Wait, aren't you going to disprove? Wasn't your whole thing disproving it?" And she's like, "Quite the opposite. I'm going to prove that monsters are real."
Yeah. Yeah. And so they're like, no, you can't do that. We don't, that'd be bad. And so, like, the gang's kind of trying to stop her, but she's, like, already flipping switches. Like, things are happening.
Meanwhile, the town arrives.
I love how they're all banging on the...
I love how the Burgermeister's like, "We know shenanigans are afoot."
Yeah. And, we're a classic bit. They're, like, banging on the door, trying to break it down and everything. Yeah. And I think it, like... The monster starts to wake up. There's a big explosion. And, Shaggy, like, is the first one to kind of, like, recover from the chaos, and is like, "Is everybody okay?" They're like going around, and he's like, "Okay, Fred, you look fine. Daphne, you look good. Monster, you're good." And he's like, "Wait, what? The monster's alive?"
Right. She's like, "The Dinkelstein monster is alive! Velma, by the way.
Yeah, of course. And Fred's...
I like how she's like, "Wait, it's alive?"
Yeah. Yeah. And I think Fred says something about like, "Oh, it's alive. Unlike my van, the Mystery Machine." Like he just can't let it go.
No. Soon, it's like he's in the bargaining phase or denial phase.
Yeah, exactly. And then Shaggy and Scooby, they're like, "Man, that monster is like really ugly though. Like we've seen some ugly monsters. That's kind of our whole deal, but that's a really ugly monster." Yeah. And Velma's like, "No, I think he's beautiful."
I feel like Velma's in opposite day right now.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But the monster, as it wakes up, it like bursts out of the castle and instantly starts like chasing the villagers off.
Blows out their torches.
Yeah, their special torches. This is what they're known for.
Right. They can't stand up to the monster.
Yeah.
Right. And okay, Daphne, I'm sorry, I'm getting very angry at Daphne right now because she's like, oh, the monster was horrible, like me.
Yeah, and then at that point, Velma's like, oh, wow, I hadn't noticed, but like, yeah, wow, you
right?
really...
She drives the point
what
home.
Happened?
She's like, you are not attractive anymore.
Yeah, just rude.
I mean, she's still Daphne, you know? But
and of course, Daphne obviously is upset by this. She runs off crying. And Fred's like, I can't believe you would say that, Velma. You're the monster. And she's like, well, if you're such a, you've done the monster hunting thing for all this time. We need to get the monster back. He's my monster. I don't want him just roaming around. Go get the monster. Bring him back. And Fred's like, I don't know if I can. I'm just not the same
machine.
Yeah. He's just half the man he used to be.
Right. And then Shag and Scoop, though, they're like, yo, we'll get the monster for you.
Yeah, we can totally do that. And she's like, all right, I'll get the Scooby snacks. And they're like, we're good. We don't need the Scooby snacks. We'll just go get the monster.
A complete opposite of Shaggy and Scooby in every way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're not getting what's being put down at this point, they're all opposites of themselves.
Yeah.
Velma is confident and evil, and Shaggy and Scooby are brave and not hungry, and
Fred's
Daphne
actually
is
down. Fred is not the font of positivity he normally is.
Yeah, and Daphne is quote unquote ugly and fat instead of So Fred decides to go for a walk to clear his head because he's upset about the van.
Somehow he finds himself in the Evil Dead tool shed.
I thought the same thing. Yeah. It's just this rundown shack full of every kind of farming implement that would also work as a weapon. And Daphne ends up in this long hallway that is just lined with mirrors, which is really upsetting for her right now. Blah blah blah.
The Phantom appears and starts mocking her and said, "You all lose what you hold most dear."
Yeah, this is the von Dinkenstein curse. Is that's what will happen. And Daphne's like, no, and she smashes a mirror, and wait, it's the back's passage. Hollow. So they're she heads down into the passage. Meanwhile,
Shaggy find the monster.
Yeah, they start chasing the monster through the castle instead of being chased by the monster like wouldn't be normally the case.
Right, we get to hear some Transylvania polka style ska.
It's so weird. Yeah, this ska punk song. 2014. It's strange. Yeah, but it's a catchy little number.
They catch up to the monster, and Velma manages to sedate it.
Yeah, she has a syringe.
She's also like, well, we have the monster, but he's not right. Maybe it needs something else. And she kind of looks over at Shaggy and Scooby and approaches them.
Yeah. Then we see Fred in the murder shed, and he's like, I've got an idea of what to do with all this stray gear. Mm-hmm. And then we cut to Daphne, who has followed the secret passage down to an old mine shaft full of equipment.
Right, but it's not old equipment.
Yeah, it's new, and she's like, there's something weird going on here. And the ghost reappears, and he's like, I'll stop you. You figured out my secret. Right,
but it's not much of a ghost because Fred immediately jumps in and goes full action fucking hero on this thing. We have a sword fight in the Scooby-Doo movie.
Yeah, because he brought in a bunch of it's a pickaxe and a shovel and all this. They have this big fight, and in the process, the cape, the ghost cape gets pinned to the wall. The ghost runs away. Yeah, but the cape is left behind. Then after the ghost is gone, Daphne's like, I'm sorry, I'm just not myself these days. And Fred's like, what are you talking about? You always look great to me, which is really sweet. This is a nice little moment. Even though Fred's been kind of feeling bad, it's nice that he's able to show up for Daphne in this moment. Yep. And then she's like, wait, that's the ghost dropped his cape. Let's look at that. It's a clue. Right. And because Daphne is the fashion expert, she's like, this is a modern silk. Yeah. This would not be, this wouldn't have been around when the Baron was here.
Right. He's clearly gotten into some shitty fashion recently.
Yeah. So they're like, all right, we need to dig our way out. We gotta go find the rest of the gang.
The Phantom causes a cave-in.
Yeah. And so at first, Fred's digging through the rubble, and he starts to get lightheaded and faints. And then once he faints, we cut away to Velma. She's now got Shaggy and Scooby and the monster all strapped down to separate slabs.
Yeah. Well, Shaggy and Scooby are on the same slab. The monster's on separate.
Yeah. And she's, got like weapons and is going to chop them up because she's going to use their parts to supplement the monster.
Well,
and
combined, they both have one brain.
Yeah.
That scans, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty good gag. And I think they do find that, like, as she's kind of, fighting with all the equipment or whatever, they're like, Shaggy and Scooby are talking. They're like, "What do we do best? Like, we need to get back to the basics." And they're like, "Well, we can't run and hide. We're strapped down.
Let's eat our way out of this."
Yeah, so they eat through the straps.
God, leather strap. Ugh.
Yeah.
They got strong jaws.
But so they run away, and so Velma releases the monster to chase after them. But in the process, she looks over at the hypno wheel, and somehow, looking at it twice, does a reverse hypno wheel.
Well, we don't find that out yet, but yeah, she looks at the hypno wheel again.
Yeah, she just kind of freezes, and then we cut to
Daphne.
Daphne, who is now continuing to dig them out since Fred is unconscious.
Right, but she stabs herself, but also she doesn't feel it, and now there's wind rushing out of her sleeve.
Yeah,
what's that about?
Blood. Yeah, and suddenly the suit starts, shrinking down as it releases air.
Turns out she was in an inflatable dress. How did she not know? Well, no, they do explain that later. Never mind.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird, like, hand-wavy, like, silliness here, but, like, it all does have sort of explanations. But, of course, because we're playing with this fat phobia thing, she's really excited that she's not fat, and then she's like, oh, also, I've got fresh air. I can, this is going to help with us, trying to escape if we won't run out of air down here.
She gives Fred mouth to mouth with some of that air.
Yeah, and so she finally does manage to break through the wall. They're saved. Meanwhile,
Shaggy and Scooby get chased to the library where they barricade themselves in. And then after they've done all that work, they're like, hey, did we forget to lock the door? And then Monster busts in.
Right. Just classic silliness. So they try to escape. They end up, like, bursting into the tunnel where they bump into Fred and Daphne. So now we've got the whole gang back together.
Well, yeah, and then Velma arrives and is like, and then Iago runs in and is like, hey, we gotta leave. Like, now. Yeah,
because, like, Velma is like, come with me if you want to live. Doing a Terminator. And they're like, but you were evil a second ago. And she's like, let's get out of here, and then we can explain everything. And Iago shows up and is like, don't forget this house is built on a natural gas deposit. Right, so, they things could go really bad.
Natural gas. This thing's going to go up like a lantern here in a second.
Yeah.
But Fred just whistles.
Like, yeah. He's like, that explains why I fainted earlier. I was breathing natural gas. And so, they all come rushing out.
The carriage arrives, which is the new Mystery Machine.
Yeah. Fred whistles, and everyone's like, what are you doing? And it's just like, he's just like, just wait for it. And then, horse and buggy painted up like the Mystery Machine. Very good.
Right.
And so they all...
the carriage.
Yeah, they escape in the carriage, and while they're driving away, that's when Velma's like... So, I'm sorry for trying to kill you, Shaggy and Scooby. Right. I'm pretty sure I was hypnotized by the Strickfaden electro wheel. And they're like, it's fine. Could have happened to anybody. Like,
fair enough, right?
They're good friends, and they've been through some weird shit together, so they're just like, it's whatever.
Well, we better hurry up and get out of here, because once we find out once the natural gas hits all those torches...
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be bad. And sure enough, there is a big explosion as the villagers arrive.
Oh, no.
And we just cut to the village. Like, we just see the explosion, and the townsfolk...
They're dead, right?
Yeah, there's something from is it Velma's glasses? Yes. Something lands in the village.
The glasses, the Dinkelstein glasses, land right in front of the Burgermeister.
Yeah, and the townsfolk are like, oh no, there's an explosion. And they're like, oh, it's a shame for that Von Dinkenstein girl and her friends. But hey, bloodline is severed, curse is lifted.
Von Dinkelsteins are dead!
Yeah, so they decided to throw a big party in the town.
Yeah. So that's fun, that you're
yeah.
celebrating a bunch of strangers' deaths. That's cool. I mean, they're not rich or anything, so... No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. And so then we get the whole rest of the movie is super fast-paced, montagey stuff. We see the like constable guy walking through the town, and he sees like the shadow of the mystery machine.
Right,
like he thinks there's a ghost chasing him.
Right. Well, yeah. So basically, him, the quote unquote Romani woman, and Miss Vanders and the Burgermeister all see different ghosts of the Mystery Inc. crew. So,
Yeah,
oh no, they're being haunted.
Yeah, and eventually they all kind of get like funneled by the ghosts and pushed onto a train.
Right, and that's when the conductor takes off his face, and he's Fred.
Mm-hmm. They're doing a classic reverse. Like we've always had the gang.
This was good. This was a good twist.
I really liked that, and the sort of like bad guys or whatever are like trapped on the train, and they're like, but wait, how? And they're like, we used all the same bullshit ghost techniques you all used, and then we get like a little montage of like, we used the projector and refractory light and all this silly stuff, Yeah, and they're gonna send them away or whatever, but then all of a sudden, the monster appears.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's not a monster though. It's Iago in a monster suit.
Yeah,
wait,
and they're like,
it's not Iago in a monster suit. It's Agent Schmidlap in the Iago in the monster suit.
Yeah, there was like in the opening sort of montage previously on bit. Yeah, there's like a joke
power suit.
Yeah, there's this joke that there's like a conspiracy theory that like the government has like mechs controlled by tiny federal agents, and sure enough, that's true.
Yeah. Yep, as Schmidlap proves, right? It turns out this isn't a haunting, this is a conspiracy.
Mm-hmm. The mystery is solved. All of the townsfolk were working together.
Well, these four people in particular. Velma said this time it really was personal.
Yes, because it's a double fake out thing, because it's not... we've had the Burgermeister, the constable, the Romani shopkeep girl, and all that they were like mad about the curse, but no, it's not actually them. Those are also costumes.
Yep.
We go further, like deeper into the inception of this story.
Oh no! It turns out that these were the people we talked about at the beginning. It's the pizza lady. It's the lady who wanted to improve her band. It's the guys who were stealing, or one of the guys was stealing money with his cousin, and then the real estate magnate.
Yeah. And the one that was stealing the money was well, he was the lawyer that sent them there in the first place.
Yeah, so
Crawley.
he had a deeper one. He's not Crawley. He's not the lawyer. He's,
Yeah, it's so silly. Like, they just, they took the formula of a Scooby-Doo and like, what if we did it like 5 times back to back to back and just like kept digging deeper? It's so great.
Yeah, so I mean, this is kind of me patting myself on the back, but immediately after the beginning, I was like, all this story's going to come back later on, and I'm like, I was fucking right.
Yeah,
nailed it.
I did not, because I was just like, oh, there probably was a movie before this that this is talking about, and I didn't see it.
No, that was ADHD power, 100%.
Yeah, and so beyond that, then they're like, well, then how did all this weird stuff happen? Like, how did Daphne get fat? How did Scooby and Shaggy get brave and not hungry? And Velma's like, that's the other deeper mystery, and I've solved it all.
Right. Turns out the Lederhosen had acupuncture needles in the butt, and that somehow staved off their hunger and made them brave.
Yeah. And of course, Fred's is obvious. They destroyed the van to make him sad and kind of make him lose his like positive leadership skills.
Yeah. That was brutal, though. That's a hell of a way to do it.
And the thing with Daphne, it was a dual thing. They fed her shrimp
which affected an allergy she had.
Yeah, that made her start to swell up, and then they put her in the inflatable suit, and so she felt fat and then looked even fatter.
Yeah,
just the worst.
Right.
And of course, they had to make the evil person to do the fat phobia thing also be the Romani girl, so they just that whole subplot is just where all the worst stuff got funneled into this story. And then, of course, Velma was hypnotized by the wheel. You all didn't know each other. You're from, like, 4 separate cases. And they're like...
We have a fucking social network that hates you guys.
Yeah, there's a whole Reddit board just about fuck the mystery team because...
Dude, like, 1, I would be flattered. And 2, I would be fucking scared. Because it's like, shit. We got a lot of other people we're going to have to take down.
Yeah, they were like... We had to turn away applicants for this plan. It's Do
you think Scrappy's on that list now?
Right. And then we get because everything about this movie is doubling and tripling the stereo or the tropes of Scooby-Doo. One of the characters is like, and we would have gotten revenge on you meddling kids if it weren't for you meddling kids.
Fuck yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. And Velma's like, you acquired this castle that then has like a huge natural gas deposit.
You could have just sold it and been rich.
Yeah, you all would have been millionaires, and you never would have had to do crime ever again.
Right. And then they're all like, "Oh shit."
Yeah. And Shaggy's like, "Turns out you were so greedy for revenge, you forgot to be greedy for money."
That's a nice little knife they twisted on him, though.
Yeah. And so then we just cut to like a little later, and the villagers are all like happy, and they're sort of like waving goodbye to the gang as they head out of town.
Well, there's a reason why the villagers are happy. It's because Velma gave them the land rights to the fucking natural gas, and now they're all basically rich.
Yeah, it's like, isn't that the end of Son of Frankenstein, where he's just like, you can have the land, we're done, and they're happy or whatever.
Right.
But before they head out of town.
Schmidlap is like, hey, we fixed the Mystery Machine van, and we gave it some upgrades, too.
Yeah, and so Fred's so excited. They run to the van, they're all getting in, and, they're getting ready to speed off, and Velma's like, they said the curse was about getting rid of, or taking away everything that you love, but they missed it because... We love each other more than we all love the things that
she leaves it hanging there for a second, and then they're all like, no, we lost everything we really were into. And she's like, we love each other. Most of all.
Yeah, it was another, just like last week, like, I've learned something today.
Yeah, exactly.
And, then in the back of the van, Shaggy and Scooby are like, we could take a lesson from, we should just be brave from now on. And then up front, Fred's like, "Hey,
there's a big red button."
I know. The agent said they did some new stuff. You want to try it? Let's see what happens. They punch the button, and like rocket packs come out of the back of the mystery machine, and it just like flies up into the air.
They gave him a spaceship. Hell yeah!
Yeah, and that takes us to credits, and
the gag's pretty good.
It's real good. So, like, one of the, like, nerds who, like, wanted to see the hot modeling pictures of Daphne earlier pops up, and he's, like, he does a bunch of, like, actually kind of nonsense.
This doesn't make sense. We have the plot hole about the train. It ran into the clock. The clock was standing there, like, not more than 5 minutes later. What was the other one he said?
There was... What was the other one? There was a couple, like... good, but it was like they built these plot holes into the thing, knowing we wouldn't catch them, and for him to call him out.
And then at the end, he's like, "Don't even get me started about the agent." And then all of a sudden, he gets swatted, like federal agents just come in and just take him out.
Right. Yeah.
That man disappeared into Guantanamo Bay, never to be seen.
Absolutely. Yeah. So good.
Yep.
Yep. So,
by the way, as they then cut to the one character who was Mama Mazzone, I think is what I called her. I think that's her name. She was the housekeeper. They're walking her into the cop car, and as they're doing it, she's going basically farting with every step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it she's eating all this weird food in her restaurant or whatever, and makes her gassy, whatever. Yeah,
sure. Well, I mean, that's kind of funny. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's it.
Yeah, but I think this was a lot of fun. Like this, again, it being 2014, obviously this is way past the time that I was like watching Scooby-Doo cartoons. But I'm glad that this gave us an opportunity to check this out because it's it was way smarter than I expected it to be. All of the layers and the sort of like doubling and all that. It is exactly a Scooby-Doo thing, but it's also sort of like commenting on Scooby-Doo and like playing with the tropes in a funny sort of meta way.
I feel like this is the moment they're like, oh wait, the people who used to like the kids from the 80s, they're still watching this effectively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
like I think a kid could definitely watch this and have a good time, but I think they're like, our primary audience is the people who were kids the first time around, and maybe their kids will watch this too.
Well, I think it's the kids of the people who watched it first time around are still sticking with it.
Yeah, because I mean this is. Like they made a Hot Velma on purpose for sure.
Yeah, there's a certain demographic, and they nailed that demographic.
Yeah,
we are.
They were pandered. Yeah, I feel pandered to, and I enjoyed it.
Fair enough. Speaking of something from the '80s, do you remember those Lisa Frank folders?
Oh yeah, I mean, who could forget all those wacky bright colors? Like every girl in my class. Yeah. Had a unicorn or a tiger or something in like neon pinks and greens, and they're just such an iconic thing of the time.
Why don't we talk about something a little bit more in that line, like maybe Lisa Frankenstein?
Yes, I'm so excited. This movie's been getting hyped for months and months, and it's finally coming. By the time this episode comes out, it will have already been out, I think, a week or two, which will give you all time to catch it. But yeah, next week we will finally talk about this movie that we've been eagerly awaiting for so long. It's
weird, like it's been on my back burner, but I've still been like, when's that coming out? When's that coming out?
Yeah, I'm so excited. Yeah. It might be good, it might not be, but either way, I'm just so stoked. It's so great that we're getting so many new interpretations of Frankenstein in the past year or two, and like, I mean,
we are spoiled for choice.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the pun title, I mean, I was already like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, hell yeah, this is gonna be good. So
right. Do you think it's meant to be for the girls, but then all of a sudden you're gonna have a bunch of like 30-year-old dudes showing up?
Yeah, like from the trailers. Yeah, the trailer stuff looks like it's going to be sort of, teen romance and stuff. Like it's I think the monster is one of the guys from Riverdale or something. But like, I am so in for it. If it makes a bunch of teen girls into Frankenstein stuff, hell yeah, that's amazing. Like let's do it. Like, I'm so in for whatever.
To be fair, I feel like Frankenstein was written for and by teen girls.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
Yep.
So, yep. It's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Fair enough. Where can they find us, Anthony?
So you can find us on all the socials at The Frankencast. You can email us at thefrankencast@gmail.com. You can also find us over on YouTube. And, of course, you can find us at patreon.com/thefrankencast. We'd love to have you over there. There's, the free 1-week trial. You can hop in, binge a bunch of stuff, see if it's for you, see if you want to stick around. And if not, we'd still love for you to hear what we got because, we're pretty proud of the stuff over there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a blast over there. So, oddly enough, we've talked about a lot of porn, Anthony, and I think this is our horniest episode.
Yeah, we tend to keep the porn over on Patreon, but oops, we got horny on Maine here for a second.
Yeah. All right, well, in that case, we continue.
Nice.
Looks like you survived another episode. The Frankencast is a production of FCR Media. It's hosted by Anthony Bowman and Eric Velasquez. Follow us on Twitter at The Frankencast, or send us a letter at thefrankencast@gmail.com. Our cover art is by Amanda Keller. You can find her at Keller Illustrations on Instagram. Our theme music is by Vivek Abhishek. Thanks for listening.